All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome. I'm excited to be here today. So, as you come in, make sure you say hi to me. Let me know that you're here. We have comments pulled up. So, I'm excited to talk about health and wellness today from an energetic point of view and how to really get where you want to go. So, if you saw me come live, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are back and we're ready to go. So, I am super excited to come on and talk. You can see my dogs in the background. Talk today about health and wellness from an energetic side because we hear a lot, especially this time of year, we hear a lot about all the things that you should be out physically doing. But the one thing that I have noticed as I have really transformed my life in the last 2 years, really, is that if we don't work on the inside, if we don't do our healing work on the inside, it's really hard to create lasting transformations for ourselves. And if we go out and just push, push, push and do all the outside things, what I see a lot is people eventually losing their momentum. They don't want to continue doing what they're doing because it's hard. We don't feel we're worthy of it. We don't feel that we can continue on. We start these big things, and in order to maintain that, it's not easily maintained over the long term. So I notice people lose a lot of their momentum. The way that I have found that we can really do that differently is to start on the inside and work from the inside out. And when we do that, I see so many times over and over and over again that the transformations last. We create lasting transformations. So I want to find myself here, make sure that everything is okay. If you're just coming in, please say hi to me. There we go. Okay, good. And okay, I'm just going to pull up comments so that I can see. All right, there we go. Okay, so I want to talk today about how you can do that, how you can get there, and really what are some of the things that you can stop. I want this to be really informative for you. And again, please, as you come in, say hi to me, talk to me, engage with me. The more that you engage with me, the more I give back to you energetically. So it's really a good mix. So, one of the things that I committed to when I first started my healing transformation is I promised myself I wouldn't start anything that I couldn't continue for the long term. And so I started out very small, very little. We just had a new year. Today's the 7th of January. We're in a whole new year, 2025. I see everybody making these New Year's resolutions. I am not one to make New Year's resolutions anymore because it was something that started and within a short period of time you were done. You had already given up. I know that I had for years. And my health and wellness was always on the list. This was going to be the year I was going to get healthy. This was going to be the year that I started exercising every day for 2 hours, like ridiculous. It was going to be the year that I started all these crazy things and I made these big long lists of things to do only to be let down by myself again. But the thing is, I wasn't really letting myself down because I was setting myself up for failure to begin with. Because when we make such big, bold, transformational things that we want to accomplish in 1 year, our chances of sticking with them for the long term are slim to none. The thing that I have found that works for me, that works out so much better, is if I start out small and add in the small things and I do that for a while. And then when that feels good to me, then I add in something else and I do that again for as long as that feels like it's good. And I keep adding to it and not necessarily, sometimes I take things away. Sometimes I have done things differently. So, what I did in the beginning is I have always felt better when I push my protein. I've always been that way. I've had blood sugar issues in the past. I've always kind of pushed my protein to hold out on my blood sugar to maintain that longer in my body. So when I first started doing this, for one, I was doing my healing work on the inside, reminding myself that I was worthy of all of this, that I was worthy of having a healthy life, that I was worthy of spending this money on myself, that I was worthy of doing all these things. So that was really the beginning part of it. And then as I did that healing work, I added to the outside and started doing the practical things. So I started adding in more protein in my life. I started really pushing the protein in my life. And then the more that I got in and realized I had thyroid issues, I had inflammation issues, I started reading about intermittent fasting and what that does for the inflammation part of the body. then I decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to add in intermittent fasting. And so I added in intermittent fasting and I eat in an 8-hour window and I fast for the rest of the day. So it's kind of this 8-hour, 16-hour thing that I do. I have to make sure I tell you right. Yeah. So I fast for 16 hours. A lot of people are like, how do you fast for 16 hours? You know what? As long as you're giving your body what you need, it really has not been an issue. And if I get up some days and I'm hungry, I just eat. I was sick all day yesterday and I didn't feel well and I was kind of puky. And I got up this morning and I knew I wasn't really hungry, but I knew I could feel it in my body that I needed to eat. So I didn't fast this morning. But honestly, I didn't eat much of anything yesterday, hardly anything. I couldn't keep anything down. Nothing sounded good. I couldn't even put it up to my mouth. Like it just gagged me. So yesterday I didn't eat a whole lot. So this morning I was like, you know what? I need to honor my body and honor where it's at. And so my husband had fixed eggs with lots of protein, ham, and all sorts of good stuff in it. And so I ate that this morning for breakfast. To me, that's just honoring the body. So we have to, that's the other thing that I have done is always listen to my body, listen to what it's asking me for, listen to what it's telling me. What does it need? What does it need to feel supported and nourished and loved? And then doing that and not just kind of half-heartedly doing it like just like today. I need breakfast. I need food. I was shaking on the inside. I could tell it had been way too long since I had ate. I couldn't, like I said, couldn't keep much of anything down yesterday. And so it was hard. I only had just a few bites because that's all I could get down this morning, but it was what I needed. So we have to honor that and honor where we're at. So as we step into this place of really listening to ourselves, loving ourselves more, because the more that we can bring in that compassion and love for ourselves, the better off we are going to be. Now, one thing that I have learned is this healing work that we do is so important because it really creates a friendly environment inside of our body. And what do I mean by that? I have been around so many people. In fact, I deal with people every day. I don't deal with them. I get to work with them on this beautiful energetic level. And most everybody that I worked with, they love other people, or so they think they do. They have compassion and love for other people, but when it comes to themselves, they don't have that same love and compassion for themselves. And so we create this, what I call hostile environment inside of our body when we are denying ourselves what we need, when we're denying our thoughts and our feelings and our actions, when we're denying the things that the food, even the food that we need, we're avoiding it. We think that it's terrible. We don't listen to ourselves. We don't listen to our cravings. And yes, there can be medical things that go along with those, but I also think especially for a woman in her cycle, there is times when you crave more sugar than others. It's in the middle of your cycle. You should honor that. I'm not telling you to go eat a whole bag of something, but you should listen to that and honor that your body needs that little bit of sugar in there. I've read studies on this. I have done lots of work around this, and there are times when our body needs that. And if we refuse to listen to that, refuse to be that. Now, here again, I'm not telling you to go eat the whole bag. I'm saying we honor that inside of our body. It really teaches us to trust our body, trust in the process, trust in ourselves, and we get this greater understanding of our bodies and how they work. And this is the kind of environment that we need to create if we want to create a healthy lifestyle. It's not just about exercise. I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. It's not just about exercise. It's not just about food. It's not about food and exercise. It's about all of this rounded in a nice little package of really learning to love yourself again, learning to love your body, learning to love your mind, accepting where you're at and being okay to be there, but know that you're going to a different place. And as we create that environment for ourselves, we create this friendly environment, this loving, caring environment. Our bodies want to heal. It wants to be healthy. It wants to look good. It wants to have energy. It wants to move. But we have to create a safe space for that to happen. I have met with people who are kind of stuck in the old ways of doing things. really stuck in this place. And I was there for a long time too, until these last 2 years. They think that there is only one way to lose weight, and it's to be in a calorie deficit and to work your ass off. Now, do some people get there that way? Yes. Do a lot of people don't? Yes. And the answer is yes for both. Because, and then what happens usually in that space is they get to this point where they realize, and I know because I did this for a lot of years, I would add in more exercise and less food, more. There's always more here and less here. And I got to the point where I couldn't sustain that. I would get to where I wanted to be, but I couldn't sustain it. I couldn't feel good long term and stay there. And it was all about pushing, doing more, doing more. The thing that I've realized with energy healing is that we need to relax. We need to relax into this process. We need to have ease in this process. We need to manifest this really, like into a place of ease, knowing that you can have the body that you want, you can have the weight that you want, you can have the health and wellness that you want in a place of ease. And this is where we can sustain it. This is where we can stay in this place of really learning to love ourselves, not feel the franticness of I haven't exercised today, or I've ate like shit, or it's been Christmas and I ate like shit for 5 days. And now it's a problem, because it's not a problem. It's a solution, and it's okay. We all do it, and we can get back on track and do what we do, and but be at ease about it and not frantic about it. Because when we're in a state of frantic, our body's in a state of frantic. That is not a healing space for it. I have learned so much that if we want our bodies to heal, if we want our bodies to do what they're supposed to do, because when we give it what it needs, when we honor it and give it what it needs, it's going to do exactly what it was designed to do, which is to give you this healthy body. But when we fight it every step of the way and push it and do things, I've watched people who are just too dang tired and they still are out there pushing themselves to exercise. I actually seen someone recently who was in the ER because she was doing so many different things with her body and adding in so many supplements, and her body was not responding well, but she had to do it. She had to continue on. She just had to do it in order to get where she wanted to go. And I just don't believe in that anymore. I don't believe in disrespecting your body to get where you want to go. I don't believe in the old norms of how we can lose weight, because I know, because I've tested them all and they were all bullshit. There was a lot that I learned along the way about eating and exercise that just is not sustainable, and it's not congruent and in line with really being truly healthy, because you can push it and feel like you're healthy and feel like you're doing all the good things and make yourself feel good because you're doing those things, or you can truly step into a space of health and wellness. And that's what I want for myself. That's what I want for my clients. That's where I go with my clients, in a state of ease, in a state of knowing, in a state of trusting, and in a state of complete health. And that's what this is all about. Even if you're on a weight loss journey, learning to trust in your body, watching that weight go down, knowing that it's happening for you, knowing that you're doing the good things, and knowing that it's not about just what you're doing. It's about bringing in that trust and that compassion and allowing that to come in for yourself. It's really a beautiful process. It is so different than anything that I've ever done. This is how I have lost 100 pounds. I remember when I really started losing the weight, and I remember that feeling of, oh my God, it's working. It's working. It's doing it. It's doing all the things. Yes, I have added in thyroid care. Yes, I have added in some other things on the side, but I knew that all of that was working for me. And I knew that I was giving my body exactly what it needs. I'm not beating it up to get where I want to go. I do walk most days. I didn't walk this morning because I was not feeling the best yesterday, and I decided to take a rest day. Besides, the weather was kind of crappy this morning. But I walk, but I don't walk really for weight loss. I walk for my mental clarity. I walk to put myself in a state of ease. I walk because it feels good. I do anywhere from 3 to 4 or 5 miles. It depends on the day. But I do it not out of franticness, but out of knowing that this is what makes me feel good. This is where I like to be. And when we can get to that place of not being frantic, not worrying, I don't worry about what the scale says anymore. I don't worry about what I put in my mouth equals what goes on the scale. because none of that matters to me anymore. I know that the scale's right where it needs to be because I just know that it is. I trust in that process. I tell myself every day that, you know what, yes, we've lost this weight, but my body knows exactly what to do to maintain this weight, and I'm honoring it and supporting it in all the good ways. And I believe in that 100%. I believe in that for myself. And when we can step into that place of trust, step into that place of knowing, step in that place of understanding that our body wants to be here and support you. These physical bodies are really our vehicle to be here on earth. That's what they're here for. And we use this vehicle, unlike buying vehicles on planet Earth, we don't get to go trade it in and buy a new one. We get to honor this one that we have for our lifetime here. It's not about um, anything else than that. It's just your vehicle. It's the reason you get to be on the human earth, why you have this body. So honoring that, taking care of that, I've heard my body is a temple. You can I but that doesn't even set well with me because that to me was religious stuff from my earlier years. So I don't even really buy into that. My body is my vehicle. I want it to feel good. I want it to look good. I want to feel good and look good in this physical body. We have to create that from the inside out. To me, as we heal our physical, we heal our mental, we heal our emotional, and do the physical things on the outside, we can create that sense of stability and health and wellness for ourselves. So this is what it all comes down to is really creating this safe space, creating a place for health and wellness to come in and doing it from a very different point of view. I'm sure you've seen, this time of year, I'm seeing them come and join yoga, come and join the gym, come and join. You can do all of those things. But to me, if we really want to create this lasting sense of health and wellness, it starts on the inside. It starts with learning to trust ourselves again. It starts to, you didn't get where you are today because you live in a great environment inside of your head and everything's fine. To me, there is emotional, physical, energetic reasons why we get to where we are physically. And when we can clear those up and then add these other things in, this is where we create lasting care for ourselves, lasting health and wellness, lasting weight loss, lasting, to me, I'm in the best health that I've ever been in my entire life. And I will say that to anybody. I know it. And next year at this time when I'm even better health, because that's where I'm headed, I will tell myself yet again, I will still continue to say that I'm in the best health ever. At 51 years old, I feel better than I have ever felt in my entire life. Even as a child, I know that I've had thyroid issues probably since my early teens. I've had my kids tested now. 3 out of my 4 kids have thyroid issues. And because of that, we work through that. We take care of that because I don't want them to feel like I felt for 30 years. Nobody should have to feel the way that I felt for 30 years. But we also deal with the other side of it, which is dealing with what's going on inside of your head. There's a reason that I got to the place that I was at. For me, I know energetically there was a lot of shoving, emotionally shoving, running away from my abilities as an intuitive healer and as a medium. I was running away. I was scared of those. I didn't know what to do with them. In my house, I was raised that that was evil. So I was running from that. I was also taught to not express my opinions and not have emotional upheavals because we're not allowed to feel anything other than good and happy all the time. I mean, how many times, I don't know about you, but I heard it all the time. You can go to your room until you can come out and be nice. The sad thing is I told my kids that, and I want to kick myself in the butt now for even saying any of that because that is not how this should be. We should teach our kids how to really deal with their emotions, deal with their anxieties. Because of all that, I grew into, as in my early adult years, I spent a lot of time on antidepressants and anti-anxieties, really hiding from my feelings, hiding from my emotions, hiding from all the things that I didn't know how to deal with. And I know that shoving all that down contributed to the health issues that I have had. And as I have learned to stop shoving, as I have learned to deal with my emotions, as I have learned to set in my emotions and be okay to feel them, to be okay to not be okay. Sometimes we're just not okay. Sometimes we just need to set with our emotions and deal with them. and really learn to accept that it's okay to feel that way. It's not okay to stay there forever and ever, but it is okay to have emotions. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be happy. Even in manifestation, I heard somebody the other day, I've had people tell me, well, we just have to be happy all the time. No, you don't. That's called spiritual bypassing. Nobody is happy all the time. Nobody has every day where they're just, no, doesn't work that way. That is unrealistic to say that we're going to be happy every day. It's unrealistic to think that we have to stay in this high vibration all the time, because emotions is very different than vibrations. And I think people get the two of those confused. So as we learn to deal with our emotions, not even deal with them, accept them, be okay with them, be okay to not be okay some days, be okay to feel our feelings, we allow that to just flow through us instead of shoving all that down, saying, no, I can't, I can't, I can't. We now allow ourselves to say, I can. And as we allow that energy to flow, this is where we create this really friendly environment for our body to be. Those emotions are part of this human experience. Our humanness is part of this human experience. This physical body is part of your human experience. As you can learn to really embrace all those parts, be okay with all those parts, and feel your emotions, deal with them, deal with your family issues, deal with these things that are going on in your own way. This is where we create this friendly environment for health and wellness. And it seems like it's two separate things, but it's absolutely not. The more that you can learn to accept yourself, the more that you can learn to love yourself, the more that you can learn to really love yourself unconditionally, that's what's going to get you the greatest return on the other end. I know for me, when I first started this whole health and wellness journey, I'd already been trying for some time. We'll put those in quotes, trying. But the day, for those of you who have been following for a while, it was a week ago on Sunday, on the 4th, whatever day that was, 6th, 7th, 3 days ago. Saturday, I guess. Okay, so it would have been a year ago on Saturday when I had my total reconstructive knee surgery. So before that, right before Thanksgiving, I was on my bike, my road bike, and my front tire popped, and I rode the bike to the ground, and I banged up my knee really bad. I banged up my whole body really bad, but I banged up my knee. And I tore everything in my knee. I ended up when I finally did have surgery, I had to get a different doctor, and that's a whole other story. But when I finally did have surgery, it took me a month and a half to even get to the point where I could have surgery. When I did that, I had to have a total knee constructed. They couldn't even do a knee replacement because I had so much damage inside of there that it wouldn't. He said knee replacement wasn't even an option, that we needed to fix it. So I had cadaver parts put in to fix everything that was going on inside of there. And but the day that I had my accident, I remember coming home. I was in a whole lot of pain, and I probably should have just went to the ER, but that doesn't even matter now. I was going to come home. I didn't realize how bad I was hurt, and I was in a whole lot of pain. And I came home and I couldn't get into my house, and I was 100 pounds heavier than I am now. And my husband went and got the crutches for me because I had 3 steps to get up into the house. And I literally could not lift my leg up to get up those stairs, even with the crutches. I had to pull myself up, and I couldn't do it. And I was crying, and I was in so much pain, and it hurt like nothing I have ever felt before. I found out later that I fractured my femur, which was why that was so painful. Not only did I rip my ACL, my MCL, my PCL, and all the L's, I ripped all of them. I had complete tears on most of them, but I fractured my femur, and I fractured my kneecap, and I dislocated my kneecap. So there was a lot going on there. I didn't know that then, but I was in tremendous amount of pain, and I couldn't lift my leg. I couldn't even lift my leg up enough to even get up the stairs. And so I ended up turning around, sitting on my butt, and dragging myself in backwards into the house. And I was crying and I was screaming. But the part that bothered me the most was what happened inside my head. Because I heard in my head, just like I'm talking to you today, if you weren't such a fat ass, we wouldn't be in this situation. And then I was upset because that's what I thought of myself. That's the type of thing that was going on inside of my body. No wonder I'm in this place of the worst health in my life. I was trying to make it different, but it wasn't going very fast. I was trying to work on that. I had already been on medication for the whole year to lose weight. I hadn't lost a damn thing. In fact, it made me sicker than a dog. I couldn't. So I'd been on medication that whole year. I lost 10 pounds, gained it all back, and spent my time puking. That's what that got me. And that's not congruent to healing either. That's not the way that we want to do this either. It wasn't. And here I am hearing this inside of my head. And in that moment, I'm crying in pain. I'm crying in emotional pain as well. And I promised myself from that moment forth that this would be no more, that I would create a different environment for myself, that I would create a different place for me to heal, that I would create a different way for this to happen. And no matter what, my goal was to learn to love myself more. Skinny, fat, whatever it was, it didn't matter. My mission became from that moment forth to learn to love myself unconditionally, to learn to trust in myself unconditionally. And it was in that moment that everything changed for me as well. And from that moment forth, I changed the way that I was doing things. I changed my medication. I changed so many things. And I really became this place of health and wellness. By the time that I got to surgery, I had lost a considerable amount of weight by then, even from that time a few weeks before Thanksgiving to the 1st of January. I had lost quite a bit of weight in just that time frame. And it all started, my dog, it all started with this one thing of really changing my mind, deciding that I was going to support myself, deciding that I was going to really learn to love myself unconditionally this year, no matter what. No matter what happened, no matter what things look like, no matter how bad it got, whether or not my weight changed, whether or not anything in my life changed, that was going to change for me. Because I think this is the part that we miss out so much, and we really forget that if we can't love ourselves, and what I mean by loving ourselves is really an unconditional love. It's not about how we look. It's not about how much money you make. It's not about your job or what your profession is or what you do in this world. It has nothing to do with any of that. You are love. You are this created from love. Your soul is that love energy. To me, when I hear people talk about that godlike energy, that is this. This is unconditional love. That's what that is. And when we can step into that, really learn to embrace that, and it takes time. It is not easy. It is so easy to kick you when you're down. It is so easy to beat the shit out of yourself. And oh my gosh, if you were just a better person, and if you just looked better, and if you just get off your fat ass and do something different, we wouldn't be in this situation. It is so much easier to do that because that is what we have been taught to do. Literally, we have been taught to do that. You know, we don't want to get a big head. We don't want to look like we know it all. And so we go to this place of really putting ourselves down, not trusting in our wisdom, not trusting in our body's wisdom, not trusting in ourselves to even make the right decisions. And that's what gets us in this hostile environment inside of our head. And when we can work through that and change that, and it takes time, but you can do it. And as you work through that and change that and start morphing into the person that you want to become, this is when great changes take place inside of your body. And I'm sitting here in this chair today telling you from the moment that that changed is when everything that I was doing started to work. From the moment that that changed, that's when I started making different decisions. I started realizing that I needed to do things differently. I started showing up for myself differently. I started realizing what I wanted and where I wanted to go and what I wanted to feel like, and that I was worthy to spend the money and to do those things to get me where I wanted to go. I had already been working with a functional medicine doctor, which I am completely 100% grateful for. I can't walk away from it totally because I still need blood work and stuff, but I have pretty much stepped into functional medicine now because I love the way that they look at the physical body. I love the way that they treat things in the physical body, but I also love how it honors me and honors myself and honors my goals and honors where I'm headed. So as you can step into what works for you and step out of this old beating yourself up and never doing enough and never being enough, this is all part of healing work. This is all part of To me, when I talk about transformations, this is what I'm talking about. Because when we do that, we will stick with things long term. It becomes easier. To me, today I don't get up and walk because I have to prove something to somebody. I get up and go walk because I want to. It doesn't have anything to do with weight loss or maintaining my weight or doing any of that. I have to keep my mind out of that place of thinking that I have to do that in order to have this, because that simply isn't true. None of that is true. I could not walk. I lost the bulk of my weight sitting on my ass in my living room in my recliner. I had people tell me, oh, you'll never lose it while you're down. You're going to gain weight while you're down. That was not correct. I didn't. I lost the bulk of my weight sitting on my ass, talking to myself, loving myself, doing my healing work, working with myself, having compassion for myself, and really learning to love me better. And that's where I lost the bulk of my weight. And it continues on today. It still continues on today. I've been able to maintain easily. And I tell myself that every day. I maintain easily. It's easy for me to eat. It's easy for me to maintain. It's easy for me to love myself in this space. And you can get to that place too. There are so many things that we can do to help and really support ourselves that aren't even on the not even on the outside. We can do them on the inside and really create a space of kindness and love and compassion for our physical body. And as we do that, it's like a little kid who wants to perform. It's like this place of like, what can I do? Well, what more can I do for you? How can I help you? What do you want? What do you want to feel like? One of the things that I do in my classes is the first week I really have them. If you've ever sat in any of my classes or done anything like that, I do a lot of meditation work. I do a lot of healing work. We do a lot of energetics inside of these classes. But one thing that I do is I have all my students set with themselves, and I have them bring in their self as today. And then I have them watch themselves transform into what they want to become. And this is all up here in the minds. This is a closed eye process. And we allow those feelings to come in, and we allow ourselves to see where we're headed and what we want. Because what do you want? To me, I always wanted to feel good. I wanted to have all the energy in the world. I wanted to be able to get up and be excited about my day and not have to decide what I was going to do every day based on my energy. I wanted it to just be there. And I have created that for myself. I get up every day. I feel like the gazelle now in this life, besides yesterday not feeling good. And I didn't feel good yesterday, and I took it easy. I just really honored myself, honored my body where it was at, and just allowed it to do its thing. We need to be okay to do that as well. Be okay to really comfort this body, support this body when it's down, give it the things that it needs, eat the way that it needs to eat, sleep the way that it needs to sleep. This is all part of it too. But as we learn to love ourselves more, you will want to do those things, because those things are what supports you here in the physical world. There's such a big difference from just doing them because we have to and doing them because we really want to. That's where I want you to get. That's what I teach inside of all my courses. This is what I work on inside of myself every day. This is what I work on with my private students. I also do private coaching for those who don't want to be in a classroom area. We do private coaching on all sorts of things, but health and wellness is absolutely one of them. You can find those sessions on my website underneath the Work With Me and the Healing page. You can see all of those there, and really helping you get to where you want to go. Now, the only reason I can sit here today is because I've walked the walk. I walk the walk every day. I honor myself every day. I honor my feelings. I honor where I'm going. And I really allow myself to do it with ease, do it with grace, and do it with flow, because this is what I want in my life, and this is what I want for you. This doesn't have to feel hard. Nothing should feel hard. If it feels hard, there's something in there that is just not setting with you right. And when we can work through that resistance, when we can step into really learning to love ourselves on a deeper level, this is where it makes all of this easy. Does this take work? Yes. Yes. It took work, whether you believe it or not, to get where you are today. It took work to learn to love to hate yourself. But we can learn to relearn something different and really step into a place of support and love and compassion and care for yourself. And that's what I would love to offer you. Right now, I'm just starting a 6 week health and wellness challenge. It will begin next week. We'll set up dates and times of classes. You get 6 live classes with me, a healing session in there, healing in every class that we do. There'll be meditations, you'll have journaling exercises, you'll have all sorts of stuff, and my support all along the way. And inside of this challenge, we are going to get you to a place of ease, a place of freedom inside of your body, letting go of all of this hard, believing that everything has to be hard, believing that it's just going to be hard. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I'll never. I even have people ask me now, how did you do it? Well, it's not just one thing. It's taken me a couple of years to get here, but I did it a lot of different ways. And I can't just tell you, oh, I just did this. Everybody wants like the magic pill. Oh, I just did this. I just ate protein for 2 years. That's what got me here. That was only a small portion of it, a very small portion of it. There was so much inside work that went into this that it's hard to even explain to people how you get there unless you can bring them in and walk them through the steps, because it's just such a different process. Most people want the physical things. Oh, I just started exercising 120 minutes every day. I don't do that. Like I just did this one thing. Like there's so much more that goes into it. But when we can really learn to love ourselves, go slow, add in things slowly, support ourselves in such a different way, that's where we get the results that we want. So if you're interested in any of this, you can find all of this on my website, ginastrole.com. You can find my link here. I think it is on the events page, just clicked in this um, live. You can click that. I think you can find it there as well. We'll post the link in the comments. If you have any questions about it, reach out to me and ask. If you're more interested in private stuff, you don't want to work in a group, I would love to do that and support you in that as well. So you can reach out on my website too and find that information there, or message me and ask me. Let's talk about it. I'll be happy to lead you anywhere you want to go. So I would be love to support you. I also have a health and wellness membership. So if you're not ready to dive into this fully yet, but you would like to be in my energy field, you can join my health. It's holistic wellness membership is what it's called. And we have a Facebook group. We have a private Facebook group here on Facebook. You also have a class that you get with me and all sorts of stuff. You can find all that on my website as well. So I would love to support you in any way that I can. Reach out to me if you have any questions. And I hope you have a fabulous day. You know, I want for everyone to feel amazing, whether that's emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever that is for you, or all of the above, because you deserve to live a magical life. You deserve to live a healthy life. You deserve to be in a place of complete transformation as well. I know sitting here today, I'm a very different person. Yes, I've lost 100 pounds. Yes, I have done a lot of different things, but the way that I am the most different is the way that I think about myself, because you will never hear me again say, if you just get off your fat ass, we wouldn't be in this situation. Because for one, that wasn't true. I obviously wasn't on my fat ass when I had my accident. But the other thing is that that is not a way that I would talk to myself today. The Gina today encourages myself, loves myself, supports myself, does things so very differently. There is no beating myself up. I do fall back into those, and I immediately pop right back out, because it's easy to get back into old habits sometimes. We find ourselves doing it because it's just the thing that we did, but it's very easy to do that. But if you can step out of that and really realize, and sometimes I'll say to myself, oh yeah, that was the old way of doing things. The new way of doing things is having compassion and love for myself. The new way of doing things is to step into this power that I now have. The new way, the new me is kind. The new me is loving. This new version of me supports myself every step of the way. And you can do the same. So I'd love to have you get there. Come and join me. Like I said, we'll put the links in the comments. I hope you have a fabulous day. Thank you for being here. I love you so much. My hope for you is that you find your joy, find your magic, find your passion, because it's time to move forward. So much love. See you next time. Bye.